I've tied a few Elk Hair Caddis or Elk Hair Caddis variants. There's 2 videos posted already, and I'm going to show you another variant that I quite like to tie, and that's why I use CDC in the fly. It's a no hackle Elk Hair Caddis variant, but I add some CDC to help to keep the wing a little bit drier, and again, a very easy fly to tie. I'm going to tie it on the grip 14723BL, size 14, which is a barbless hook, and again one of my favorite hooks for various, especially emerger kind of patterns. And this Elk Hair Caddis, it's a size 14, but it will be a little bit oversized because I'm going to make the wing a little bit longer than the normal Elk Hair Caddis, where the wing is generally tied just as long as the bend of the hook. So you start again by just covering the hook shank with thread. I go a little bit around the bend, just like that. And you don't want too long abdomen. If you take a caddis adult and you turn it around, you'll actually see that the abdomen is quite a bit shorter than the wings. I'm going to use a cinnamon trilobal dubbing for this, which is one of my favorite dubbings for dry flies. And you dub the thread very lightly. You don't want a bulky abdomen. Just around the bend, and then you wrap that forward towards the hook. You can taper it a little bit, not too much. You don't want an oversized or a too thick, bulky abdomen. But you can taper that a little bit towards the front. All abdomens taper towards the thorax. Now, while I'm busy with this, you should follow Hans Weilenmann's channel as well. There's a video that I'll link to this, where he actually ties the abdomen of a caddis. He calls it the CDC and elk, where he ties it with CDC. Very interesting technique. I'll post a link down below. And he ties some amazing dry flies, especially if you like to tie small dry flies, and if you like to tie with CDC. Definitely follow him. There's some amazing ideas and fly patterns that he has. And I had the privilege of meeting him a couple of times and spending some time with him at the British Fly Fair, where we tied as guest tiers some years ago. Now, once you've got the abdomen tied, take 2 CDC feathers. This is what I'm using here is some of Giorgio Bernicchi's CDC. It's a little bit difficult to get hold of it, but there's a lot of CDC available on the market. Just make sure you get good quality CDC. And take 2 feathers, put them on top of each other, and tie them on top of the hook. But just a light wrap, 1 or 2 light wraps around to sit there. And you pull those 2 feathers through those loops to be just a little bit longer than the hook shank, about there. And you tie those down, secure them, tie those down, and cut the excess away. It's a little bit too close to the hook eye. I'm just going to pull them back a little bit. Okay. And you tie, make sure they are well secured right there. And that will be that will form like an underwing to the Elk Hair Caddis, and it will help to keep that deer hair wing dry. Now I'm again going to use Klipspringer for this instead of elk hair or deer hair. And don't use too much Klipspringer on this fly because you've already got CDC in there. You'll also see that Hans Wallenman used very little deer hair or elk hair on his CDC and elk. You've already got quite a bit of wing built into the fly, so grab a little bunch, get all that under fur out, put it in your hackle stacker or in your deer hair stacker rather, get the ends together, and tie that in on top, same length as the CDC. Again, make one wrap, pull it tight, make another wrap, pull it a little bit tighter without breaking the thread. There, and then just got to make sure that that is secure. And then make a few wraps underneath the excess, just around the hook shank, and you tie that fly off right there. With a few whip finish wraps, and then cut the thread. Again, a very easy, very quick to tie fly. You can tie a dozen of these in an hour, and cut that excess. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about this hook. One disadvantage of this hook when you tie a dry fly or Elk Hair Caddis is that the hook eye bends up a little bit, so it can be a little bit tricky to get thread through that. Advantage of, or not thread, to get tippet through that. The advantage of it is that it hides that knot under that little head of the fly. That's why I prefer to tie more emerger kind of patterns on this hook rather than dry flies. But it's a quite an amazing hook to tie a variety of emergers on. Even some parachute flies and especially hackle stack flies. So you leave that, and that is the well, I guess we can call it the Elk Hair Caddis with no hackle and CDC, something like that, or tied with Klipspringers. It's just another variant of the Elk Hair Caddis, and definitely a fly that I carry with me when I fish crystal clear water and sensitive fish. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and tie a bunch of these, try them out, and please comment on the video.